And you find there's literally no government in the world that doesn't borrow. So let's put it clear. But this administration, under my watch, we have a particular view about borrowing, and we have very narrow, stringent criteria for borrowing. We're not just going to borrow just to finance this or finance that. In 2022, the House of Assembly, when we had our supplementary budget, actually approved for us to borrow 100 billion in 2022. Till this moment, we haven't borrowed a kobo out of that. Last year, 2023, we had implicit in our budget about 90-something billion deficit, but we didn't borrow a kobo of that. This year, we also have a budget deficit of about 121 billion. Until this moment, we have not borrowed one kobo of that. And the reason is simple. We've been working on projects and programs that will be bankable. We're insisting that we borrow for bankable projects, for projects that will have the probability and possibility of generating the returns to pay back the debt. That is, we're not borrowing for consumption. We're not borrowing for anything else, and so on and so on. I mean, we borrow to create, to add to value. And so far that we're working on some major infrastructural facilities that will generate some resource payback. The moment we are ready for those, that's when we will gladly and proudly approach the market, to be able to scale up our transformational trajectory. But so far, not one. This is, almost in the third year now. I've spent 2 years in my third year, and we still have not borrowed a dime. If you also realize, recently, there was a publication of states receiving 438 billion from the World Bank. It's a World Bank loan. Anambra's name is not on that list. We deliberately opted out of that loan. And someday I will explain why we took a decision to opt out of that loan. But this is not for this moment. But all I'm trying to say is that we take the issue of borrowing very, very seriously. And we're not going to borrow unless I can show you where that money will go and what value is going to add, not just today, but tomorrow, and increase the capacity of the state to be able to pay the loan back. And so when my attention was just drawn to this as I was walking away after the broadcast of on our 33rd anniversary. And I thought it was important to clarify this because it sounded to me like a joke. And like I said, that report by Daily Trust that Anambra is planning to borrow 245 billion to finance 2024 budget is nothing short of blatant fake news, and everybody must regard it as such. Even in our budget, the deficit we'll have is 121. So how could you be planning to borrow 245 when you have a budget deficit of 121? I mean, that makes it ridiculous in the first instance. So I don't know where they got their stuff from. And wherever they got it from, whatever source that gave it to them, is pure fake news. Thank you.